Hi there, welcome to Research Like a Pro question and answer series. Today, Diana Elder is going to talk about using AI as an assistant for transcribing and abstracting. And she's going to show using artificial intelligence tools such as Google AI Studio's Gemini models and other tools to help with transcribing handwriting from historical court records, deeds, and other types of records like that. She also talks about then using the AI tools to help create a summary or an abstract of that document.
All right, so now let's get to kind of the thorny problem for transcribing and abstracting. And the reason I say thorny is because sometimes it is not easy to do this job of transcription. So this was what I wanted to have transcribed. This was a document that a fellow researcher had sent me, and he had found it only in person. It's not online. It's only at the Huntsville-Madison County Public Library. And so I had the job to get this transcribed and figure out what this is all about. So I did create my source citation based on what he gave me. These little quotation marks should not be there. Just ignore those. When you copy and paste from Airtable, sometimes it'll put those in there, which is annoying, but you always have to go remove those. But we can look at the citation for just a minute because oftentimes we're not doing citations for research found only in an archive or a library. So it's good to look at an example. So created by Madison County, Alabama Circuit, and it is the Circuit Court Record Book 43. Here are the years 42 to 43. And the case is Farmer versus Royston, 1842, page 305 to 306. And this is where it's at. So that is how I set up that source citation with all the elements, the who created it, what is it, when is it, where is, and where in. So we just always want to think about those elements and not get too hung up on having everything in what we think is a perfect order. So we might have different ways of looking at that, and you just decide what you like. All right. So what can you see could be a problem with this? Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'd love to see your ideas. If you were going to put this into AI just like this, any of you who are experienced AI users and have you done a lot of transcription work, what do you see could be a problem? Well, while you're thinking about that, I will show you some of the thoughts I had with this. That for one, it is a large document. Look how big it is. And it goes, it's really wide for one thing. Oh, and look at this. We've got these notes over here, which can throw things off. What do you do with this text in the margin? Yes, good thought. And then take a look at the actual text here. Is that easy to read? At first glance, it looks nice and neat, but when you really look at it, it's just kind of hard to read. And so the handwriting looks better than some I've seen, but it's not necessarily super easy either. So one of the things that I have learned that we have discovered is the Google AI Studio for transcription. And this is basically coming through Google through Gemini, but it's a whole different website and you can use it more for programming or different things, but we found it works really good for transcriptions. It hallucinates much less and is now my new favorite for transcription. So what I had to do though, even Google AI Studio struggled with this at first until I broke it up into smaller chunks. So I just screenshot smaller bits of it and then I let it just focus on each one and tried to make it a little bit bigger so it could easier read it more easily. And I asked it to keep the line breaks. That's a really important thing to do and use the exact wording. And then as I went through, I checked very carefully each one to make sure it was correct. So here's what it looks like, the Google AI Studio. And you can see over here it says get the API key. So if you were a programmer, you wanted to use this for creating your own website or whatever, it's got some different things you can do here. So I just ignore all this that I'm not going to use and just use the basic chat. So here was my first little bit, and then here's where it did the transcription for me. So how did I put that all together? Well, this is one of the things that I really love to do, and this is what I do basically for all these types of documents. So I start a Google Doc. You can also just do it in a document or whatever you want. And I put that in the ancestors folder. I save it in there along with the actual image. And I give it the title and the citation. And then I like to put where I did the transcription in case I want to go back and look at it again. So I put it's from Google AI Studio. And then I just started copying and pasting in all the transcription. So as it did each piece, I copied and pasted in, and it was nice to have it broken up because then I could carefully check it. This one had a lot of dates and a lot of numbers, and I only found one error where it said it was December instead of November. So it did a really good job in being accurate, actually. So, question, did I prime the pump by giving it an example of the handwriting? I didn't. That Google AI Studio is being amazing. It did a great job, and I did not have to give it an example once I broke it up. So that really helped. Now, once I had this entire transcription here in my Google Doc, I wanted to get a good abstract because it was one of those with a lot of dates, a lot of numbers, just a lot of stuff going on. And I wanted to understand what it was saying. So then I took that and abstracted it with Claude. I have tried doing my abstracts with all the different AI tools, and I found I like Claude the best. Some of them are just way too general, and I found Claude just does a beautiful job with abstracts. So that is the one that I always go to. So I copied and pasted in the actual transcription, and then it um, gave me all the information. I got the background, legal proceedings, and of course, then I could go and check. I like to do checking to say, okay, was this really the date? Are these all translated correctly from the transcription? And yeah, it it was good. So then I can take this and then put that into my Airtable. So I don't usually put the entire transcription into my Airtable just because it's so long. And what I really need to know in the details for my research log is all this stuff. I want to know just what was happening there because I know I can go look at the transcription in my ancestors file if I want to read through the entire thing. So that's how I've chosen to do it. You might want to have the entire transcription if it's something not as long, if it's something like a death certificate or something like that. But for this court case, that would have just not been as helpful to me. And I wanted to have it be helpful. I wanted to be able to just open this up and look at it and say, oh, okay, that's what was going on.
Diana, there's a
Yes.
question about that, about how do you do a direct translation instead of a summary?
So a direct translation. Um, so if I wanted to put the transcription just straight into here, I could just copy and paste it into there from my Google Doc where I've combined it all. And so that would be totally fine
But
to
she's
do that.
asking, or whoever is asking about how do you tell AI to do the direct translation instead of a summary?
You just tell it what you want it to do. So if I wanted it, say, instead of doing an abstract, if I wanted it to, for instance, I could have just had it, there's a lot of things I could have done with this record here. I could have had it put it into a table and put all the names and dates and details. I could have also had it just bullet point the specific points to make it easy to see. I decided to have it do the abstract because then it explains it a bit. So for AI, you just tell it what you want it to do. And if you don't like it, if you have something in your mind about how you want it to be, and then what it gives you is not what you want, then you try again and have it redo it. So one thing I will say about AI is that sometimes it behaves better than other times. And sometimes what will work today in, say, ChatGPT or Claude won't work tomorrow. Just can be a little funny like that. So I will say generally Claude does the best here, but the new ChatGPT 5 just came out and I haven't tried it for an abstract. Maybe it would be fabulous because it's being really good with other things. So, um, it's AI, you just work with it until you get it what you want. So how do I keep track of what AI bot was used for each portion of a project? Well, you can put it right in your notes. You have your comments. I could say this was Claude that did the abstract for me. It could also go in your source citation, abstract by Claude and on the date. So just somewhere in your research log would be a great place to put that. I also like to put it in my document. So for instance, right here where I put transcription from Google AI Studio, and I could put the date here. A date would probably be good as well, just so that you know when you did it and where it is. And you could do a link to it, a URL to it, if that would work. Sometimes that works, getting a direct link from a chat that you can put in. So those are all some ideas for using AI to help you do some of this research logging that can seem daunting when you have something very difficult like that.